right, so there you can have it, the moment of glory, really seen in many instances, not just as a sporting achievement, but I think I've heard many commentators referring to this victory as a cultural milestone. It's reflected in many ways the team's growth, their resilience, and of course the enduring spirit of South African cricket. Quite a bit of a diverse group signing autographs there on the left-hand side of the screen. You can see Lungi Ngidi amongst the more younger Proteas, rising stars in many instances. I wonder if we're able to just listen in to what Lungi Ngidi has to say there on the right-hand side of our screen.
Cricket South Africa.
You can see the likes of Adrian Markram also signing autographs. We're hoping to catch some of their sentiments. Let's listen.
Pretty overwhelming, to be fair. Didn't expect this turnout. So many years coming now, so I think it obviously means lots to the fans, and their support over the years for us has been massive, and to see them turn out today to be part of this celebration.
Can I get a selfie with my son, please? What's next?
Bit of time off, hopefully. Have a like a bribe. Switch off, take it all in, and try to get back to it.
As I had to say, but you can see him there interacting with some fans. Themba Bavuma taking a bit of a selfie moment amongst the many other demands of being amongst world champions. Let's continue trying listening in.
But I'm good. Come on, let's go out. Let's go
Again, these are live visuals we're beaming to you from OR Tambo International Airport. You'll forgive our shaky visuals, as it were. We're trying to grasp as much as this as we can. Kagiso Rabada now speaking. I wonder if we can capture his sentiments.
Hopefully they'll see this and be inspired to do great things in the future.
And where to from here? For you?
Keep working, keep improving. Win another one of these. Why not?
And did you expect this? And how does it feel? What's going on in your heart and in your mind?
It's awesome. Playing for South Africa is a privilege, it's an honor, and to see how much people appreciate the work that we do is job done. Thank you.
This particular victory will certainly be an inspiration to many of the young people who are there to bask in this moment with them. Let's continue making sense of what this ultimately means. Bring in now SABC Sports producer Thando Mgoli, who's with us via our telephone line. And Thando, it's been quite the morning, and I suppose this is the culmination of years of hard work. This will try to re-establish that connection to Thando Mxoli in just a moment, but we're still taking in the live visuals for you from OR Tambo International Airport. We've heard from the likes of Kagiso Rabada, Adrian Markram, the two whose names have really been reverberating through the venues where we've been trying to make sense of this particular victory, I beg your pardon. We've also heard from the likes of Lungingidi amongst the rising stars in the Proteas team. Let's try have once again that meaning-making moment with Thando Mxoli with us via our telephone line. And Thando, it's, I suppose, a sweeter victory when you consider just how difficult it's been for the Proteas to get to this point. There were certainly a lot of naysayers along the way.
Near misses along the way. Again, I think if you saw the emotions after the game, it's basically people looking back at the journey they've traveled. A guy like Adrian Markram, for example, was brought back into the test side by Coach Ricky Conrad. His form had basically seen him leave the test side. Temba Bafuma was given a captaincy from Gina Alda, another big move that Coach Ricky Conrad made. So it's those kind of things that people sit back and think, I was brave enough to make this move a couple of years back. Now it's paying off. And Adrian Markram is going to the biggest test arena and is scoring big runs. And Temba Bafuma is leading the team on a perfect record. He hasn't lost a test match as a test captain. And look what he's come back. He's coming back with a test match to a lot of South Africans basically here to basically say well done on a job that everyone had their doubts at some point, but they've shown the quality that they are good at what they do.
It's also been described, this particular victory, Thando, as an opportunity for there to be a cultural shift when it comes to just how South Africans see cricket, generally speaking. I suppose things like representation come to mind. It's important that it is A. Temba Bafuma who's captaining this team, A. Kagiso Rabada, who's said to have really shone at this particular match, A. Lungingidi, for example, who's said to have contributed greatly when you consider just, again, the difficulties in getting to this point.
You know, when people talk about transforming, it's a mindset thing. When you see different colors and different people from different areas and people who've had different upbringings going on to succeed on the highest level, that for me is important. Seeing your Temba Bafuma, your Lungingidi, your Kagiso Rabadas, those guys have shown that you can transform and win, just like we've seen in rugby. And again, I think when everyone has an open mind to all this kind of things, good results normally follow. We are world champions in cricket and rugby because we've had an open mind. We are world champions because we've empowered people who have got the skills to lead us in the right direction, and also have the respect of their peers. Temba Bafuma, for example, has taken so much criticism, both from the media, from fans, everywhere, and all he's done is kept quiet. He's scored the runs on the field. Even that was not enough. He had to achieve something monumental like this. You know, when they say sometimes being a certain color, being good is not enough. You need to be exceptional. When I see people like Temba Bafuma, Thando Mxoli succeeding on the biggest level, that is when you see exceptional talent succeeding in very difficult stages and making sure that they show that they are world class.
Absolutely, and something tells me the scores of young people who are present at this arrivals terminal at OR Tambo International Airport will be looking at those people who've had to overcome these exceptional challenges to ultimately, be able to bask in, let's face it, a much coveted glory when you consider, of course, just how many people would love to have the country watching them come back with this kind of world trophy.
No, if you saw in the pictures, there were some young boys and girls wearing red tracksuits. They basically, from what used to be called the Baker's Mini Cricket, it's now the KFC Mini Cricket, one of the most successful development programs in this country, whereby the sport of cricket is introduced to kids at a very young age, both boys and girls. That's where a lot of dreams start. A lot of these Proteas who are coming back here today started their cricket at that level. As lone 9-year-olds running around, playing a game of cricket and getting a biscuit and a shirt afterwards. Now, those Proteas are actually world champions. They're test world champions. For me, it's important that we have the current crop of youngsters seeing what can be achieved and being close to what is greatness. I think proximity to great things helps a lot, and it also helps nourish dreams and takes our country forward, both on the field and off the field.
100%. Thando Mqoli, by the way, if you've just joined us, is with our SABC sports team as we continue watching the Proteas victory parade. I think that's one way to put it. Currently underway at ORTIA International Airport. You can see in frame Themba Bavuma, the man we've been speaking about for much of this broadcast, still signing autographs and I suppose taking a number of selfies with many people wanting a piece of him. And you certainly can't blame them. This is going to be a moment in history without a doubt because of not only how long it's taken the Proteas to get this WTC title, 27 years in the making, we're told, but also because of, once again, the makeup of the team that ultimately got this title. And Thando, if you are still able to hear me, you know, when you take in visuals like these, I can't help but wonder what the likes of Makhaya Ntini are thinking, given, I suppose, the many hurdles he's had to jump over to make space for some of these players to be part of this team.
You know, for me, it was actually sad that a person like Makhaya Ntini was watching this a momentous occasion from the Council of Landlords. He should have been there when KJ Rabada came so close to being the second South African to get 10 wickets at the famed Lord's Cricket Ground. Again, it's those pioneers like Makhaya Ntini who paved the way and showed the likes of Rabada, Lungi Ngidi, and Angela Petrova, all the players who've gone on to represent the nation, that it can be done. Again, for me, watching Themba signing all his autographs and basically engaging with the fans, showing them the human element. Sia Collins always talks about the fact that as superstars, you should not be seen as something that's not reachable. People should see you as one of their own and basically stay with you and grow with you in the sport and help nurture, whether it's the young kids or supporters. That's how you basically enlarge the footprint of any sport. So again, I like seeing this. I like seeing this is a team that has almost lost character in a way over the years, but now everyone wants a piece of these players purely because they have done an excellent job on the biggest of stage. They've shown their world-class capabilities, and for me, that is a standard with which this great sporting nation that is South Africa is basically holding itself up to. Every time we send a team over, whether it's powerlifting, whether it's cricket, whether it's rugby, whether it's soccer, it seems that our standard is excellent, and that for me is encouraging.
Sure, absolutely. And I suppose what's also quite... seems like we've lost our connection to Thando Mqoli. What I was about to point out is just when you consider just the quality of the opposition, it makes this victory all the more sweeter. The Australian team, of course, are amongst the very best in the world, Thando. And, you know, again, you know, to come back to that question around the naysayers, the Proteas knew who they were up against, and notwithstanding their own challenges, were able to deliver the kind of performance we saw at the weekend. All right, not able to reach Thando at this moment, but I can see we are engaging with a number of officials. I'm hoping we're able to actually get to the Sports, Arts and Culture Minister, Gayton McKenzie, who's been there since quite early today. A vibrant-looking McKenzie, of course, taking in yet another victory for a South African team. Let's try and perhaps bring up those visuals of Gayton McKenzie, who I see is speaking to members of the media. We'll try to get as close to him as we can. But there's Adrian Markram, once again, this man who has taken a chance in many instances, and we've seen just how well it's paid off for him and the rest of the team who are able to bring home that particular trophy. What typically happens after this, by the way, is there's a whole lot more of a controlled media briefing, but Gaten McKenzie speaking there, or singing, I should say, as he's engaged with by some of our colleagues in the media. But it's, I suppose, also quite extraordinary to see how quickly people who had been gathered had dispersed. I suppose it makes sense given that they've been there standing on their feet for hours, but I can still spot some of the Proteas men present there taking those final selfies for those who, I suppose, are persistent enough to keep waiting for their moment. It's once again to perhaps overstate this moment. It's a historic, it's not really overstating it, but to overemphasize this moment. This is certainly historic in many ways, and I suspect it's going to be the kind of victory that South Africans talk about for many years to come, given just how much it's resonated with cricket fans and players alike. The team's success certainly reinvigorating the country's pride and reaffirming the Proteas' place as being amongst the very best that world cricket has to offer.